Then you have
Like,
all the newer stuff that's coming out that are pretty good. I've been noticing a new artists out, some new artists out there and voice actors and whatnot, which are we actually got a couple on here. But also we also have to remember we have to show appreciation for people actually who help us out along the way. And our very first guest is actually one of those people.
really
So
now.
yeah, and so he's you pretty much know you both of you know this guy. He's the mod behind Ticket Pony.
Oh, him,
Hmm.
I believe.
Yep. He also helped out with Gonzo at EQ not EQ but at Bronycon with Hotel.
Mhm.
So in a way to show appreciation for people who actually help us out along the way, I like to actually take the time and actually give a quick little interview to Mr. Bryan Krager. Let's bring him into the call.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Hello, Brian. Welcome to the Benny Arcade Show.
Hello,
How you doing?
I'm alright.
Cool, cool. So, how was BrodyCon?
Enjoyable.
Cool. Meet any special guests over there?
I've met a lot of people who have done work for me previously, so
Yeah, you actually been helping out a lot of people out there with art, with commissions. Try to put food on the table to help them out by paying for quite a few commissions, even comics.
Yeah.
And even recently with Gonzo, with Hotel Stay, with Gonzo and Haley. So,
Yeah.
hmm.
so, anyways, let's get into a little background. I mean, what made you want to be such a supporter to the community?
Uh, Generally, I like what we're supposed to be at least, but like I can't really art or do anything, talented, but I am good at practical skills and investments,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm very good at
Yeah.
making money.
So you're instead of what a lot of people do is take that money and basically embezzle it into themselves. You actually willing to help people out who need it most.
Yeah.
Well, it's always a good deal. It's always here to get. There's still goodness in humanity instead of the everyday drama of society,
hmm
where everybody is at each other's throats to kill for a buck. You basically are heading out a buck or two.
More or
So,
less.
hmm so wow. So were you raised like that? I mean, when you were young, to actually show, to help, help your fellow man out, or is it just something you learned on your own?
Uh, Compassion, not really. Hard work and dedication, yes. I was raised that way.
Wow. So that's actually really cool because some people just just trample over other people just to just to get what they want, and they don't care who gets in the way. But you're actually the genuine article. Um. So with that being said, um, without going too much into it because we're on a certain time, um, I guess we get into the Brony questions. I'll leave that up to Gonzo.
Although I will go lightly on him, as I might as well state this right now. Uh, you pretty much don't have much experience in this fandom, do you?
In what regards?
I don't know, every. Let's go with every aspect.
Alright, give me an example.
I don't know, but let's see what I don't know, Bodo. Let's see what we can determine. Um. All right, let's just start with a simple what. Oh. Oh.
Excuse you.
Oh,
Gonzo, whoa,
Gonzo.
lay out the
Let's just
soda,
say
bro.
I got really thirsty before the show, and I'm trying to quench it as we speak.
One moment, guys.
Anyways, yeah, store-bought root beer. That was pretty pathetic of me.
Uh,
Let's see. What got you into this fandom in the first place?
well, let's see. When I first joined, I had just got out of boot camp, and I was
Oh,
back
you're a
home.
military person.
Yes, I am.
What branch?
Navy.
Awesome, right here.
High five.
Oh yeah, I would if I could. Notional high five, but go ahead.
Digital, whatever. We high fived.
All right, go ahead.
Anyways, I literally just got out of boot camp. I went home because they give us time to go home. Or did I? No, I went straight to A school, and after A school is where I first saw it. Because then I went home. And the thing was, I actually saw a video on Know Your Meme that basically was describing like bronies, and they also had their own page, and I saw some stuff that made me chuckle. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and look into this, see what's up. And I watched the first episode, and I was like, okay, I don't see why so many people are dedicated to this, but like entire season 1 was out by the time I joined. So I was watching it, and I kept watching episodes and stuff. And basically 12 hours later, I think, I watched all of season 1, and I was like, God, I want more. Funny part of me wanting more, season 2 premiered that morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, literally right after I finished season 1, season 2 started.
Okay. So, have you seen all the episodes up to now?
Yes.
Even Equestrian Girls?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I have strong
Okay. What would
opinions
be
on those.
what would be your favorite thus far in it,
Favorite
episode-wise?
episode? Based on what I typically like is character development. I don't really care about the reintroduction or basically new characters. I just like the characters to actually be compelling. So my favorite episode thus far, surprisingly enough, is a season 3 episode called Sleepless in Ponyville.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
That's a good one. I have to give you props on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really like that one just based on how it really develops not only Scootaloo, but also a bit of Luna as well.
Cool.
Very well thought.
So much Scootaloo love here.
All right.
Her story is a bit tragic.
It is.
Unless, they don't actually go with that, and I really hope they don't go with that. I like the idea of
one would
overcoming
hope. I mean,
to a hope scenario.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Let me think. There we go. Finally, I got myself back on track. Let's go down to favorite characters per category because we got some categories. Favorite of the main 6, the main characters of the show.
Well, once again, basing off character, which I find most important, I would say Applejack because she has the most admirable traits.
Honesty, family.
Well, family's not really a trait. What I mean is that she is dependable and always there, a hard worker, basically. Traits that I find useful.
Mm-hmm.
Fine. All right. Do you have a favorite background pony?
Background ponies are completely, well, their personalities at least are completely created by the fandom, so if I had to pick one of the personalities that I liked that the fandom develops,
If you don't have one right now, you can just pass.
I would have to say it's either Derpy, just because of adorability, or it's going to be Octavia.
Okay.
Oh, I see. We finally got somebody who's into Octavia over Vinyl Scratch.
Yep.
I'm not into whole... I'm not into that.
You're in the classics, so that's cool.
I really like that about you, man. That's really awesome.
I think you pretty much answered. I think
does not please me.
Yeah, I think you answered one of the other questions. Favorite Cutie Mark Crusader.
Yeah, Scootaloo.
Yeah, that's pretty obvious.
All right. The next is going to be dealing with princesses. I know it's going to be lengthy, but Mean Spirit added these two, much to my chagrin.
Okay.
All right. How about your favorite royal princess?
Okay, are we talking originals, or are we talking out of
Up
all
to
the
now.
seasons? Up to now.
Yes.
Each one is compelling to a certain degree, but honestly, my favorite is the least developed one because I want more development from this character.
Who would that be?
Celestia.
Interesting.
She's honestly my favorite, but I want so much more development from her. 'Cause
basically
she's
more of a
probably-
background.
She has the greatest potential out of any character on this show.
You know what I just realized, guys?
What's that?
Out of all the guests we've had on this show, I think this guy's our combo breaker. Everybody's been saying Luna, and now we get Celestia, so...
But at least,
Combo breaker.
yeah, I know, and it's an honest one because he's bright. There's not much been being told about Celestia.
And she has the best because she's been around for like ever. I mean, the only other people who would know anything during that time would be like Sombra, Luna, and Discord because they're the only ones who have lived as long as she has. But they were all in prison.
Yeah, I mean everyone
So
has
she's
those.
the only
yeah.
one who's actually been around for that
Yeah.
amount of time.
No, or she's seen some stuff.
Yeah. And also, honestly, touching on the fact that she had to banish her sister, I really hope that season 4 premiere, based on what I've already seen, is actually going to touch on that. I really hope that they go deep into that. Actually show that it really hurt her to do that.
You know they're going to do it. The only difference now is that Twilight's going to be involved this time.
No. I think that wasn't actually the footage that they show. I don't think that's actually like Twilight time. I think that's before.
I think they're probably showing like through Celestia's eyes.
Oh, I see. That's even more interesting.
Because
I think it's a flashback.
You kind of see the
Yeah.
truth of what happened.
I may have to watch that trailer again.
Yeah. Like when I watched it, I was like, yeah, what is this? And then I was like, thought about it. I was like, a flashback would make this a lot more compelling.
Indeed. Okay.
It will
All
also,
right.
it'd also make a lot more sense considering Luna's character now.
Yeah.
I mean, to have her relapse all of a sudden wouldn't make much sense.
Yeah, it wouldn't.
All right. Now we got that out of the way. How about the villain?
My favorite villain.
Oh, yes.
Interesting. Now are we counting? What are we counting in the villain category? Are we talking major villains, or are we just talking like little antagonists?
We're talking about all of them in general that you consider to be villains.
Yeah.
So we would include
all of them thus
Yoda
far.
and Trixie in this category, then? Yes.
Yes. Even though she did turn to good, but she was a villain at one point. So yeah, it does count.
Well, I wouldn't call her exactly a villain.
Any character that basically turned good, I'm automatically gonna dismiss them because they basically undermined the whole point of being a villain.
Good point.
Indeed.
When is that?
Which
Yeah,
infuriates me so much because if I was okay with the whole turning them good, I'd actually say Sunset Shimmer would be my favorite because she is by far the most compelling out of all of the villains.
You know
And
what?
probably the best developed. But
Another combo breaker
The best
because everybody's going for Discord, man. I'm just saying right now.
Discord's a cool character, but as a villain, not really. He just seems to do his own thing. He doesn't really have villainous intent. He's just more of an
Egotistical bastard or something like that?
nature than an actual villain. Now, I'd like Sombra if he was actually developed well,
True.
but so not. He's underutilized, which is a pain. So I would have to say Chrysalis would be my favorite because she's both compelling and developed.
That's very true. Kind of like you're, she does kind of reminds me of the, from the movie Aliens. She kind of always reminds me of their world domination. Why? Because they just.
Well, the whole thing about her is, yes, she is a villain, but she's doing it because she has to. Like, her people need to eat. So, she's doing all of it so her people can eat. But then again, if you think about it, her people, eat on love. So, you could probably just easily get that because there's no shortage of that, in this universe.
Hey,
Yeah.
here's a good question for you then on the subject of Chrysalis. Have you seen the My Little Pony comic series where actually Queen Chrysalis makes her return?
No, I haven't read it. I've seen like scenes and stuff, and that's where Nightmare Rarity comes from.
Uh,
Kind of
well,
like that character, but it kind of
well,
also
not well.
doesn't make sense.
I meant like the first
But like,
4 issues, not the one with Nightmarity.
yeah, I haven't seen like the first 4 issues except for like a couple things that some people have shown me. Like somebody took a picture and was like, "Oh, who is this character?" And I was like, "That's not that character. Don't do that. Don't start something."
I hear you. Excuse me, I had to get off the mic for a second.
All
That's
right.
okay. So I guess we get into the next question. Go ahead, Gonzo.
Now we're gonna go a complete 180. Least favorite character ever. I mean, out of all the categories.
Okay, my least favorite character is definitely going to be the character that I find the most useless and pointless. Now, are we talking speaking role, or are we just talking plain in general, a character that probably shouldn't have even
Plain
been?
in general. Go
All
the
out.
whole. Yeah, go the whole 50.
Okay, out of every character in this show, I find hoity-toity.
Really?
Hmm.
I find him not compelling in the least, and he doesn't really serve a purpose. I mean, he showed up for one episode, so he's a one-off character. But I still don't think he was needed for that. I mean, you could have probably had Fancy Pants in that position, since Fancy Pants is actually a bit more of a compelling character.
Oh, he was like one of those big rich people, and Hoity Toity was like one of those what do you call it?
Critics.
Yeah, one of those big critics and everything. You know, a total jackass. Whereas Fancy Pants, he was all chill and laid back, kind of like
Yeah, but it would
John
have
Cleese.
actually added more levels to Fancy Pants' character if he was in that position in the first place. It would have made him better.
Oh,
True.
yes. Oh, yes.
But then again, there's a bunch of one-off characters, and I typically don't like them unless they actually serve a decent purpose.
Right.
And there's a lot of one-off characters.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, this is where we kind of switch gears a little bit, and we talk about your OC.
Or his group
Which
of
one?
OCs.
Both, if possible. Let's start out with, I guess we could start out with the most popular one, Ticket.
Yes, Ticket. There's so many mixed feelings about that character.
Well, let's start out. What inspired you to create Ticket?
Originally, Ticket was a group effort. There were 8 of us, and she was basically a mascot for a image board. Basically, just the users came up with her. I basically decided like all the features and everything, but we basically just used her as a mascot for /pick, which is on Ponychan.
Mm-hmm.
And it basically grew from there, but then the original 8 became me because the others basically like left the fandom for various things. And basically I became the only one with Ticket. So I started to actually develop stuff with her.
Makes sense. So, now, your other character, and forgive me because I have a poor memory, your actual other character, the one that Ticket's involved with.
Right.
What was his name?
Star Sparkler.
Star Sparkler. Now, what helped you develop that character?
Well, Star Sparkler and Color Boom, for that matter, are basically just male characters because I don't feel there's a strong male presence within anything in the fandom. So, or whatever a strong male presence is in the fandom, it kind of feels phoned in. I wanted to make a bit more of a realistic kind of set of characters with flaws and shit. But basically, Star's your smart guy, but he's like a bit overconfident. And Color is basically kind of physical, like he's like a physically fit guy and kind of clever, but he makes mistakes as well. Like
Basically, he's your average Joe.
Yeah, color's average, but Star is like really smart, but he doesn't really trust is a good word. Because once I get to my next chapter of the story and I introduce color, Star isn't going to be very trusting of him at first.
Of course. So, the character development you've actually had, and with a lot of artists and everything, and the development of your character, it seems like I mean, you basically have taken a character onto your own. Basically, I say you kind of adopted because everyone else has kind of abandoned it. Um, what would you say to be the highlight of your characters? Starting with Ticket.
Are we talking about personal traits that I have instilled in the character?
Yeah.
Ticket is brave, for one.
Star Sparkler.
Intelligence.
And Boom.
Color would be creativity.
Okay. Interesting. Getting down to it. Now, what inspired you to actually to create? I mean, we already know about Ticket, but what inspired you the most to create Star Sparkler?
I needed something to work with Ticket. Something that would counterbalance her character well.
Basic chemistry.
Yes.
Interesting. It's always good to have chemistry between two characters because it makes it more interesting.
Mhm.
Now, am I correct? You created Color, right?
Yeah, Color and Star are both completely original of my own design.
Okay. And what about Color? What inspired you to create that character?
Color was basically another character that I wanted to add, because I felt just two characters would just kind of peter out and wouldn't be very compelling for the audience to watch. So I created Color to be another relatable sense of character. I'm actually working on a fourth character right now to add to them. This character that I'm working on is actually going to be female to kind of balance it out because now I have too many male characters.
Get out of females. Okay.
Yeah. So now I'm trying to create a female character that isn't the same personality as Ticket, but is still compelling in a way.
Interesting question. Was Ticket, was she always an alicorn or was she something else before that?
She has always been an alicorn because
Okay.
my stance on that is that it's a race, and
Okay.
a race does not matter.
Okay, the only reason I was asking about that because I don't know if I remember correctly or not, but I probably am wrong. Because I could have sworn I saw she was a unicorn at one point, but I probably was wrong about that.
No,
Anyway.
she has always been an alicorn
Okay.
for the sake of defeating the whole stereotype of alicorn.
Yeah. As some people probably would call it a Mary Sue, which is it's not. It's an original.
Well, Mary Sue is an interesting thing because if we're going to talk about Mary Sue, Twilight Sparkle is actually one of the biggest Mary Sues on the show.
Right.
There's actually a system where you can actually measure how Mary Sue a character is.
Mm-hmm.
And Sparkler, or Sparkle, why am I getting confused there, is off the freaking charts with Mary Sue properties.
Wow. Neat. So is get to your original character. Is any part of your own personality put into these characters?
Yes, I pick traits that I find admirable, and I certainly have some of those traits.
Really? Like what?
Right now I'm being a bit overconfident, or cocky, which isn't a trait that you should like, but intelligence is something that I do possess, and I gave that to Sparkler.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with being cocky.
If you can back it up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That's true.
Actions speak
In
louder than
regards
words.
to work, I can do that, but intelligence I gave to Sparkler, and I gave Ticket courage. I gave color creativity, and I think my new character I'm gonna give kindness.
That's cool. So, the whole entire fandom, what's been like of highlights of this fandom for you?
What do you mean?
Like meeting certain people. I mean, like meeting a certain somebody, working with someone, or the highlight of basically has been what really made you excited and actually willing to do in the whole entire fandom. I mean, like for me, I could probably say, meeting Lauren Faust and Tara Strong, type of thing.
I actually have not met any of the actors personally. I did meet MA at the con. Just basically said hi and all that. Like, he is basically the writer now, so.
You didn't like rub elbows with any of the voice talent there, like say Peter New or any of them?
Not really, no.
So,
like, honestly, I'm more invested in the fandom than the actual show, if I'm going to be completely honest. Because I actually find the fandom more compelling. Of course, then there's things in the fandom that I completely do not like.
interesting. Okay, that makes sense. So, in the fandom, what would be the highlight for you then?
I guess there's certain like parts of the fandom that I do enjoy. Because I'm an old 4chan person, so I remember when
Oh
things
God,
were crazy.
4chan. Oh
Things were
God,
just all over the place, and we were just making shit up about the show.
you want me to? You want me to get the Super Mario Brothers 2 music for you? Do I need to just come out and say, is it legal to keep a horse as a pet like a dog?
Oh man, classic.
Nice.
But yeah,
No. We here at the Mini Arcade Show would like to remind everybody that we do not support 4chan in any way, shape, or form.
why?
That's what he says, but I didn't say it.
Like honestly, some of my favorite artists, or at least one of my favorite artists,
Just so
is
everybody
basically
knows,
a heavy 4chan user.
everybody knows I support 4chan all the way.
Basically, I'm more into our fan artists than anything else.
Okay, so speaking of which, of all the artists you've actually seen and actually have done, art of your characters, who? Let's go into that. Who is your favorite artist?
Well, my favorite artist that has done work for me, or that I want to have done work for.
Done work for you.
How about all together?
Ooh.
Or you
Okay,
could,
I got it
or you could, yeah.
My favorite
categories.
artist who has done work for me is Template 93.
Don't think I heard that one.
That guy.
Template is a very talented digital artist with very decent commission rates right now, who basically is my chosen artist for my comic.
Cool.
Yeah.
My favorite artist that I would love to get an image by would be JJ.
Cool.
I would love to get an image by him. I would actually also love to get one from Mega Sweet as well.
Okay.
I actually, I'm not sure if I can pronounce this name right, but Artiel.
I don't know what you mean.
Let me just go ahead. ATRYL.
Atrial?
Atrial, thank you. That's basically, he used to be on the list of artists that I would love to get work from. But then he did the whole Bronycon thing for me. Made me probably one of my favorite images right now.
Sweet.
Looks very nice. But yeah, basically that's a lot of my favorite artists. Like, there's a huge number of artists that I like, but those would be my favorite.
Cool. Yeah, I was fortunate to actually meet JJ at EQLA and actually got a line art from him, and that you probably saw on our Tumblr. But yeah, it's JJ's a
That
great
bothers.
Yeah, sorry. JJ is a great artist. Atriel is a great artist. There's a lot of great artists out there, but those are your main two you would like to have done. But you also had a lot of other artists
Oh,
actually draw
so
your
many.
character. Yeah, I mean, not
I
to,
have so many artists. You could just look up on my DeviantArt alone, and you could see all the artists. You could probably go onto Derpy Bureau and find all the artists. Probably over 500 artists, maybe.
yeah, and a lot of them are brilliant artists, and then you have to remember they're really good. I mean, like I've seen some art from what was it, Avante '92 that
Yes,
does stuff.
Avante.
Yes, I thought that
Avante
was
was actually one of the first people I commissioned, and he actually took quite a while with one of my commissions.
yeah, because
Like
it takes
6
time.
months or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Some of the comics.
But I actually enjoy him as a person as well because I have communicated with him
Mhm.
beyond just commission, and he's actually a very cool person. Ooh, another person that's actually done a bit of work for me that I really like is Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Flufflepuff.
The mod of Flufflepuff. I forget what his original artist name is because he kind of changes it a lot.
Oh yeah, I've been trying to figure him out myself.
Mixer Mike. There we go. That's his original name. It was Mixer Mike.
I'd like to run into him at a convention sometime. He does some excellent work.
Indeed.
Yes, I actually ran into him. Very dressed up, I guess. He was wearing sunglasses, had a beard, bit of a tall guy. Was wearing a pink, fluffy, really fluffy thing, and he had his Chrysalis and Flufflepuff plushies with him. I actually didn't think it was him because I didn't think he would be, that balls deep into the fandom where he would actually dress up like that. But apparently he is, so there we go. I thought he would be like a bit more not so forward about his fandom love. But he was, but at least he wasn't like other people who just chant fun with no self-control.
True.
Oh yeah, that was a major irritation. I'm gonna go into this now about Bronycon. Was that the lack of self-control?
I bet.
Yes. I can
There was
verify
a
to that as well.
major lack of control. Like there were people there who were just unable to control themselves. There's
Yeah.
that our fandom isn't typically held in high regard.
Basically, overkill people.
Yeah, there's people who are way too into shit. Like, a bit way too much. Now, coming from me, and I commission a lot of stuff. Coming from me, saying something.
But in all frankliness, meeting you in person, you're quite moderate for a fan of ours.
Yeah, through the fandom.
Moderate to a degree.
Yeah.
Let's face it, I'm already a bit too deep. Because I'm even further than some people into this, but I ain't balls deep.
Very true. Very well advised.
That was
So
a horrible way of saying it, but yeah.
indeed. And we're running short on time, so we have to keep up with everyone else. Bryan, I want to thank you for coming on here, and thank you for your constant support towards the fandom, mainly the fandom, because that's what you're mainly supporting is the fandom, not the show, but the fandom.
That's awesome, man. We need guys like you around.
Yeah, to show that there is good people in the world here that can actually can contribute when the cause is just.
Yes.
So, with that being said, Bryan, thank you for coming on here. We appreciate all your hard work and effort and everything you've done. And, thank you again.
It's no problem.
So,
Hopefully I'll run into you at a convention sometime.
Hopefully.
mm-hmm.